Guys, big breaking news coming out when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. US to launch new phase of Venezuela operation. Now, this is coming out right now, 25 minutes ago. Reuters is putting out this big breaking news about Venezuela and US military out there in the Caribbean. Alright, guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. So we're going to see what's going on here. Venezuela has been a big topic these last couple of weeks. So it says here, Reuters, November 22nd, 2025, the U.S. is poised to launch a new phase of Venezuela-related operations in the coming days. We heard this many times. So, in the coming days, 4 U.S. official told Reuters. All right, so you have 4 U.S. officials as the U.S. Commander administration escalate pressure on Nicholas Gov. Reuters was not able to establish the exact timing or scope of the new operation, nor whether the U.S. commander had made a final decision to act. Reports of looming actions have proliferated in recent weeks as the U.S. military has deployed forces to the Caribbean amid worsening relations with Venezuela. Wow. Only time will tell when something big will strike in Caribbeans. So 2 of the U.S. officials said convert operation will likely be the first part of the new action against Nicholas. All 4 officials quoted in this article spoke on the condition of anonymity because of the sensitivity of impending action by the United States. The Pentagon referred questions to the White House. The CIA declined to comment. A senior administration official on Saturday did not rule anything out regarding Venezuela. The president is prepared to use every element of American power to stop these drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice, said the official, speaking on the condition of anonymity. So again, it's the same story, but we are getting new info from multiple officials. And I believe they want to remain anonymous, but they're sounding the alarm. Within days, we could see something. The Venezuelan Communication Ministry did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Once again, the president administration has been weighing Venezuela-related options to combat what it has portrayed as Nicholas' role in supplying the drugs that have taken thousands, actually possibly in the millions, Americans. He has denied having any links to the gang trade. But here's the thing. They are coming from your country. These boats are coming from your country. All right? And if you don't know how to control that, then you should not be in power, period. 2 Sleeping Giant officials told Reuters the options under consideration included attempting to overthrow Nicholas. Nicholas, in power since 2013, has contended that Donald seeks to oust him, and the Venezuelan citizens and the military will resist any such attempt. He also has characterized U.S. actions as an effort to take control of Venezuela's oil. A military buildup in the Caribbean has been underway for months, and the U.S. president has authorized convert of the CIA operations in Venezuela. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration on Friday warned major airlines of a potentially hazardous situation when flying over Venezuela and urged them to exercise caution. So they do have a travel advisory, level 4, that's the highest level. and they also warn about hazardous situation. So things are looking pretty bad out there nowadays. And the U.S. is really sounding the alarm here. 3 international airlines canceled flights departing from Venezuela on Saturday after the FAA warning. Now, the U.S. plans on Monday to designate the gangs a foreign tea organization for its alleged role in importing the drugs into the sleeping giant, officials said. Now, the administration has accused Nicholas of leading the gangs, which he denies. Now, P. Hegseth said new options after the designation. All right, November 24, I think that would be the day that it will be established. It will be recognized that Nicholas and the gangs are the T organization. Washington in August doubled its reward for information leading to Nicholas to $50 million. But the U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said last week that the group designation brings a whole bunch of new options to the U.S. The U.S. president has said the upcoming designation would allow the U.S. to strike Nicholas' assist and infrastructure in Venezuela, but he also has indicated a willingness to potentially pursue talks in hopes of diplomatic solution. Now it says here, Nicholas said earlier this week that the country's differences should be resolved through diplomacy and that he is willing to hold face-to-face talk with anyone interested. Here's the thing, guys. I've been to South America many times. This person here should not be trusted, period. I've seen people on X saying he's a hero. I guess you never been to Venezuela. You never been there. Anybody that says that Nicholas is a hero, you never been to Venezuela. You never experienced Venezuela. All right, so there's a lot of people that's eating from the dumpster, and you call that being a hero? Unbelievable. 2 U.S. officials acknowledged conversation between Caracas and Washington. It was unclear whether those conversations could impact the timing or scale of potential U.S. operation. The U.S. Navy, largest aircraft carrier, you have Ford out there, arrived in the Caribbean on November the 16th with its strike group joining at least 7 other ships, a nuclear submarine, an F-35 aircraft. You can't, there's some F-18s out there and also multiple B-52 bombers. U.S. forces in the region so far have focused on counter-narcotics operations, even though the assembled firepower far outweighs anything needed for them. U.S. troops since September have carried out at least 21 strikes on alleged drug boats, taking at least 83, mostly in the Caribbean, although vessels in the Pacific Ocean also have been targeted. Now it says here you have the human rights groups have condemned, give me a second here guys, has condemned the strike as illegal and extrajudicial taking out civilians. And some U.S. allies have expressed growing concerns that Washington may be violating international law. And look, I mentioned this a few weeks ago, and I said, instead of hitting these boats, follow the boats. Follow them. Follow these boats. Do a live stream and see where they head to. There's a possibility they might head to Mexico, and from there, we can't do nothing. And they could be unloading stuff. We can do absolutely nothing. But again, a lot of their stuff does go there, and there's a possibility they're not going to Florida. They're just trying to get to Mexico. So just have a live stream going on, zoom in and see what they're unloading. But I do believe that a lot of stuff, I mean, they have some products, DRUGS in those vessels. It says here you have the Donald administration has said for months that the strike on boats are meant to curb these gangs. It says that has taken millions of Americans. You hear that? However, most of these product deaths in the U.S. are caused by fentanyl, which is largely manufactured in Mexico. These gang move some product through the Caribbean, according to international organization, but much of the supply for North America moves on the Pacific. U.S. military dwarfs Venezuela's, which is deliberated by a lack of training, low wages, and deteriorating equipment. That reality has led Nicholas Gov to consider alternative strategies in the event of a U.S. invasion, including possibly a guerrilla-style response, which the Gov has termed prolonged resistance and mentioned in broadcast on state television. This approach would involve small military units at more than 280 locations carrying out acts of sabotage and other guerrilla tactics. Reuters has reported citing sources in years-old planning documents. All right. So once again, this is the latest update when it comes to Venezuela. Now, there are 4 U.S. officials. All right. So the U.S. is poised to launch a new phase of Venezuela-related operation in the coming days. 4 U.S. officials told Reuters. Excuse me, guys. So yesterday we received, there was a breaking news to pilots of hazardous situation in Venezuela. Do not travel was also announced. And give me a second here. Want to see if I can find any more information here, but we do have a lot of stuff out there. It's just a matter of time when things start hitting the fan. 4 U.S. officials tell Reuters the United States of America is launching a new phase of operation against Venezuela in the next days. Toppling the regime is one on the table. 6 airlines have suspended all flights to Venezuela on November 24. The gangs will be terror listed. Nicholas did something to the Donald. Can't trust him. You cannot trust him. RT is putting out the same breaking news. U.S. reportedly preparing new phase of operation against Venezuela in the coming days. Once again, Washington keeps moving forces into the Caribbean, but won't say what it's actually planning. One thing I tell you guys, pay very close attention, because this happened also in 2021 when Russia moved all their stuff. In the northern part of Ukraine and Belarus border, there was all these Russian tanks. And then in the eastern part of Ukraine and Russian border, there was all these tank and soldiers. And then also in the southern part, there were also some tank and soldiers. And it was like that for like a few, like at least 2 months. And Russia said they weren't going to invade. And the news were on this for the past 2 months. And then what happened? They went in. I believe same thing is happening here. We are surrounding Venezuela. And eventually we will go in. It's just a matter of time. Seems like Donald is buying a piece of the playbook from Vladimir Putin, when Putin also did the same to Ukraine. All right, guys, this is where we at right now. We got all our stuff out there in the Caribbean. This stuff usually is out there in the Mediterranean Sea or the Black Sea or in other areas, South China Sea, or the Indian Ocean, or the Red Sea. But this time, it's here in our backyard, the Caribbean. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out the videos I posted today. The links will be in the comments box. And make sure you hit that like button. The more like, the better. And I want to thank every single one of you for your support. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Once again, guys, $5 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream once a week. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Faith and trust in Jesus Christ. For He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.